not necessary. Check box.
I begin manifestation of things constantly, Samantha.
We all
do.
We're constantly manifesting something through our vibration.
Either consciously or subconsciously.
Exactly.
We are.
So this is how to be a conscious manifestational vibration in this, okay? So in looking at all of that, I'm going, okay, what I really want is for my laundry to be done. What I really want is to be able to do my laundry at home in the enjoyment of my own environment.
That's right.
Without paying extra to do it and having to, all the hassles of the dragging it out, the going to the laundromat, all of that. I would prefer to skip that part of the experience of doing my laundry and just be able to do it at home.
Of course.
So instead of focusing on what's going on in my environment in the moment, like the fact that I don't have a washer and dryer, and I don't have a utility room to put them in if I did have them that's ready for them to be working.
That's right.
Because all of that's still under some plumbing and stuff, constructional stuff. And so instead of looking at all of that, I just started looking at, what do I really want in this situation? I want clean laundry. I want to be able to clean my laundry at home. And I want to be able to do it in the comfort of my own space and my own time, and at a smaller expense, because it's not the additional expense of all the hassle of having to do laundry now.
Of course.
That's ultimately what I want.
Of course.
So instead of sitting there and focusing on the frustration of this pile of laundry, I sat there and I just kind of relaxed, and I was breathing, and I was thinking about the vibration of, if I was able to do the laundry right now, as if it was already done, as if it was already completed. Let's say my husband had finished the utility room and all that area and is ready to go, and my washer and dryer is plugged in right now, and I'm ready to take that laundry and throw it in. How would I feel about that right now?
I think that'd be a really good feeling.
Exactly. So I let myself sit in that feeling for a moment, and I was like, yeah, I like this. So instead of turning it back to, but then there's still this, and this, that stuff didn't matter. It doesn't matter where it's at right this moment.
That's right.
Because what I want is the feeling of it being the way I want it to be.
The process of manifestation has begun.
Exactly.
You have the key.
I sat there in it just being grateful that the utility room was ready for my washer and dryer, being grateful there was a washer and dryer ready for my utility room, and being grateful for being able to wash my laundry and keep all those things up, be able to do it randomly as needed instead of having it pile up and make trips. And I was just sitting there being really grateful in that moment and appreciating the fact that all of that just is. It just is. It doesn't matter whether it is in this moment. It is in the moment of my feeling.
I understand.
And all that mattered was how I felt about it. See, that's been the hard part, but that is the key.
Let me share a little example that I have with you on that. I serve on the board of a nonprofit organization here where we live. I've served every seat, director. I've served secretary, I've served treasurer, I've been vice president, I've been president, and now I'm director again. But I really don't get the enjoyment. I don't get the experience from this particular group that I feel like I could. So what happens is I kind of put out there that I really enjoy being part of good things, of progress, something positive happening. And this week, so far in the last 7 days, I have been asked to join the board of 3 separate and distinct nonprofit organizations here in the county that we live. And, it's really my pleasure to serve this way because, I have studied corporate law, so I'm a pretty good person to have on your team when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I get personal satisfaction when I see progress, when I see multiples of lives changed. that is where I get the enjoyment from, especially if they don't even know where it came from. Just something's good happening to the neighborhood, to the city, or whatever, and you know deep in your heart that you had a little bit of something to do with that. You know that there's a lot of satisfaction with that, and just knowing that now I have all of a sudden, and this has never happened before. Never has any other nonprofit came knocking on my door. But within the last 7 days, 3 very distinguished nonprofits have asked me to join their board of directors, and I'm just, to say that I am, I'm humbled to a large degree, but I thought about it. I said, I manifested this. I began manifesting this
by being
way
in
before
an alignment.
now.
But the reason it's happening right now, this week, all of that, all of a sudden at one time in 1 week, you've got 3 dropping in your lap. There's a vibrational alignment with it. It's I've talked before about Esther and Abraham and how muut I love to listen to them.
I do.
And so I talk about the vortex of creation also. That pool of energy that holds our desires, the things we want, our experiences that we truly want. The money that we want in our accounts. It's all in there. And I found out where my vibrational PIN number for my escrow account is. My source has it. So anytime I want to tap into that, I just go, hey, I need a withdrawal.
That's exactly what I do. That's exactly
what I do. And then I
do.
allow the universe to bring that withdrawal to me. And it's been working out pretty nicely.
Yeah,
it's been working out really well.
I needed that.
Exactly.
It's manifestation.
And just, it could be a small infusion. It could be a larger infusion. It could be not necessarily money, but just exactly what I needed in that moment comes from some source, from somewhere, randomly even. I've really been enjoying all the random moments of just allowing. Just allowing is the key. That's the biggest key. When you can just allow these things to occur and to be, because you're not putting a resistance that they can't exist or can't happen or can't be in the way, then that's really all it takes. That's where you get out of your way. There is a process. This whole law of attraction, there is a 5-step basically process to it. But the first 3 steps are the most important. The first step is to identify what you want. The best way for most of us to identify what we want is by experiencing what we don't want.
You mean we don't go on Amazon
and
figure it out?
Yeah, we can do that too. But even at that, we see, when we look at Amazon, what do? We see 10 items of the same type of thing.
That's right.
And we see what we don't want, which helps us narrow down the one we do want, right?
That's exactly right.
We look at all the different features. That's what we don't want. This one has everything we do want. So this is our choice. This is the one we choose. And sometimes it's a really quick process. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But either way, it's a very good example, of how we do that.
Well, of course,
it's a perfect example.
I think so. I'm just good like that. Well, that just came out of my head, just like that. My Amazon.
But yeah, it's a very similar kind of thing. So that's the first step, is identifying what we do want.
Okay. And
then the second step, after we identify what we do want, and we're asking the universe to provide it.
Right.
That's the end of our step 1. Once we identify what we want.
And I think there's one one key component to this.
What's that?
Was something that we really hadn't. I don't think we've hit on this topic. If we have, maybe not as much as I think it's important. I think when we do manifest things consciously, you just got to be happy with this. It can't be a sad decision. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Any decision you make, if you're not feeling good about it, then you're not in alignment with your source.
Exactly.
And so obviously you're not making a decision that you feel good about.
That's exactly
Why make
right.
a decision you don't feel good about?
Yeah.
If you have, if there are no choices that make you feel good, you go with the one that gives you peace.
I was part of a meeting a few days ago where we'd invited a new potential partner up to come and chat with us. And anyway, I mean, they were definitely bringing new things in that we were doing. But I mean, you know, one of the people did not have a really good feeling about this. Mm-hmm. I mean, something just was not, you know, it was not a good fit. And so it turned out that I said, you know what, I trust this person because they've had some really good success. They've had some really good things happen to them. Mm-hmm. So we decided to, okay, well, let's just put this on hold. We'll see we'll revisit this situation in about a year. And it turned out to be the best move we could have possibly made. Mm-hmm. You know, listen to your gut. Listen. And also, I mean,
to the voice of your source, basically.
Exactly.
When you align with that, when you align with your source, you do follow those things, those intuitions, ultimately. Anytime you have that intuition, it is that connection, that message from your source. But let's get back to the 3 steps because we're kind of getting off track here. We've only got 10 minutes. I want to make sure we get this done.
Okay.
Like I said, there are 5 steps. If you want to learn more about these steps, go listen to Abraham and Esther because they explain it much better than I can explain in this 10 minutes. There's so much information on YouTube that I couldn't even begin. I'm only giving you highlights and bits and pieces. But the 3 main steps, obviously, like we were saying, number 1 is to identify what we want and to ask for it. Ask the universe. If we don't ask for whatever it is, if we don't
see ourselves with what it is we're asking for,
well, that's later on. Don't get ahead of my steps, Whitney.
Okay, step
but
on.
If we don't ask, after we identify, if we don't ask the universe, then we don't create the same clear path to it, or we don't get the same clarity on it. Now, we're constantly thinking things all the time, and the universe is constantly putting those thoughts, those desires into that vortex. But it's when we ask for things that they really are able to come out and manifest for us. That's why people say be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. You've aligned with that vibration, so the universe spits it right out there for you. Here you go.
Right. And I've heard that saying since I was a child.
So that's step 2 right there. Step 2, we just sit back and allow it to happen.
There you go.
Why is the easiest step the hardest part for us to do? All we have to do is sit back after we've asked and allow it to manifest, to allow it to happen. Instead of spending all of our time being worried about it or doubting on it or thinking on it or wondering how can we control it, because I'm bad about that too. What can I do to make this happen faster? You know? So instead of doing that lately, I've been just saying this is what I want and now I'm going to allow it to be. And then I give it to the universe because the universe has ways of taking care of things that I could not even fathom. And that's the beauty of the unfolding. Watching how the universe puts all these things in place. Just like our recent move with the Mystics Mall. We were in a location. We thought we were going to merge to another location, which would have been a better location for us. And given us another business, kind of business partner that we're merged in with. And then the way it's worked out, we actually are in the same area, but still just us without merging with this other business.
It happened exactly the way it was supposed to be.
It happened in ways we could not have even imagined. Yeah. We ended up exactly where we were supposed to be, and ultimately with more of what we wanted for our business.
You ended up in the right place at the right time, and that is exactly where we always are.
And had an opportunity to do what we're doing right now that we would not have otherwise had any other way.
Well, you've been dealing with another partner.
And not only that, but just the way it worked out for us to not not do that merge either.
Okay.
So it was like the way everything lined up from the beginning of it to the end of it. When we stopped and looked at the whole path, the whole journey, it was like, wow.
This is where you're supposed to be.
And it was like, and we are in this beautifully aligned place of exactly where we wanted to be with our business.